Are coincidences really just coincidences? Well, have you ever thought about someone you haven't spoken to in years and then they just text you the same day? That's happened to me a few times. Or maybe you hear a strange word for the first time and suddenly it's everywhere. Or a song, maybe, or a number. Most people will smile and say, what a coincidence. But what if that explanation is a little too easy? I've always thought so. Yeah, but today we're going to be skeptical, not of science, not of logic, but of coincidence itself. So, here's what we are kind of led to believe about coincidence. We're taught that coincidences are random. The universe is a bit chaotic and indifferent. Given enough events, some of them are bound to line up. Okay, I can give that a little bit of credit there, but that explanation sounds reasonable, right? But there's a problem. It doesn't actually explain why certain coincidences feel different. Why do some feel forgettable while others feel almost targeted? The targeted one is a big one, too. Especially if they happen to you as an individual in different situations. Yeah, it makes your brain stop. That was weird, right? But the standard defense is probability. People will say there's billions and billions of events. Of course, weird things are going to happen. But probability works best after the fact. Once something happens, we can always say, well, statistically, something had to happen. That doesn't explain why this exact thing happened to you at that moment with that level of specificity to it. It's a bit like winning the lottery and being told, relax, someone had to win. True, but that doesn't make your ticket any less strange. Skeptics often say humans are just pattern-seeking machines. We see meaning where there is none. And yes, this is true. Look at the clouds. You can see a shape in the clouds. This applies to UFOs and different things. Yet there is proven to be different weather habits that take place that make the clouds form a certain way, right? We know that. Our brains do that. But here's the counterpoint. Pattern recognition is also how we survive. It's how we learn. It's how science itself works. So when people dismiss every coincidence as your brain being silly, they're also dismissing the very tool we use to understand reality. The question isn't, do humans see patterns? The question is, are all of those patterns fake? Okay, let's talk about timing, all right? A coincidence isn't just what happens, it's when it happens. Right after a decision, during a crisis, at the exact moment you're questioning something. If coincidences were purely random, we'd expect them to feel evenly distributed. Yeah, that's a big point right there. But many people report the opposite. They cluster around moments of change. That doesn't prove meaning, but it does challenge the idea that timing is irrelevant. Here's a part most people miss. Being skeptical doesn't mean automatically rejecting mystery. True skepticism questions everything. And believe me, I do. I question a lot. Including the assumption that the universe is entirely meaningless. I tell you what, I do not believe the universe is meaningless. Saying it's just a coincidence can be as intellectually lazy as saying it's destiny, right? Both are conclusions, neither is an explanation. So maybe coincidences are random. Maybe they're psychological. Maybe they're statistical artifacts. Or maybe they're signals we don't yet have a language to describe. History is full of phenomena excuse me, that were dismissed as coincidence or superstition until better tools came along. Not magic, not fate, just understanding. Delayed, of course. Anyway, so the next time something lines up a little too perfect, you don't have to decide what it means. You also have to explain it away. Don't have to explain it away. Pardon me. Sometimes the most honest answer is simply, I don't know yet. And in a universe as strange as this one, That might be the most skeptical position of all. Anyways, you all let me know in the comments below what you feel about coincidence. You know, I've always been skeptical of coincidence. You know, I know in an investigative mindset, you might actually say, hey, this one event was a coincidence. But when you have more than one event line up, well, guess what? We all know what they say. That's a pattern. That's not coincidence. I definitely believe in things that take place that are not coincidences. So I'll see y'all in the next video. Dog with you. Keep safe. Peace.